they have been called Team Senior Counsel Orengo. You have asked us to find the chairman culpable of various breaches of the Constitution. There should be a repeat election. He cannot preside. My Constitution Office order under Article 251(2) of the Constitution, there is a detailed procedure that is provided for the removal of a constitutional office order. And what I would like you to address us is, how do we go about that? Would we be making an order that is contrary to the Constitution? Because like the judge was explaining, we are a country that believes in the rule of law, in the right of a person to have a reply, to be tried. So, you know, for the breaches.
When the 45 polling stations that this Honorable Court directed that a conduct of scrutiny be done, the recount confirmed that there was correct vote count in 45 polling stations. It also confirmed that all the data that was entered, including, for example, the rejected votes, reflected that which was in the ballot and that which was in the image. It also confirmed that the Form 34As were not altered as it has been submitted before you. I therefore do submit that there are no irregularities in terms of the votes cast against each of the candidates in this particular petition. There was also no transposition the way they had placed that votes from candidate A was taken away and given to candidate B. That product of scrutiny has confirmed that. To be very specific, in Mombasa County, Mvita, polling station 1 of 7, all of them had no variances at all. And in the fullness of time, this Honorable Court, I believe, will spare a moment to look at pages 36 to 49 of the report from the registrar. Majengo, 2 polling stations, no variance, that is page 50 to 57. Mikindani, polling station 1 to 9, no variances were detected at all. In Kericho County, Chepkutung polling station 1 to 3, no discrepancies were found. In essence, what I'm trying to submit, my lordship, is that the numbers complied in terms of what each candidate had been given as at the time of the tabulation at the polling station and what has been provided and availed before you. I am aware that the 32 volumes of Form 34As are placed already before you. Elections and the will of the people is deposed in the polling station as per the minor Kiai case. I urge your lordships and my lady to indeed look at the 32 volumes of Form 34A.
Look for this evidence come across 3 possible areas they'll be talking about. In the affidavit of one John Mark Gidongo, they make reference to a Form 34A from Baringo County, Tiati constituency. They then say that that is an example of a form that was intercepted. Michael Ouma, in his affidavit, confirms that in fact the form that was uploaded or that was attached in the affidavit of John Mark Gidongo is not a form that arose from the process that, that they allude or allege it arose from. That according to him, this form was downloaded, somebody tried to interfere with the details on it and attached it to an affidavit. Now that, if you asked me, is perhaps the silliest way of doing any of these things, because if somebody asked you whether that form was authentic, you only need to look at the public portal. You then need to verify it with the Form 34A that was presented. My ladies and my lords, as a statutory requirement, we delivered all the Form 34As to this court. We have a copy. The entire public has copies of each and every of those documents. Our team went through those documents, and in relation to that specific Form 34A, to say the least, it's a forgery. The second attempt, again by John Gidongo, in his affidavit, to try and present some form of evidence, is in the form of logs, which were alleged to have been gotten somewhere. It says Karen, with these 56 mysterious people, and this, I think, is what senior counsel Professor Gidu Mugai was talking about, hearsay on the back of hearsay. I was told that I had. Really, is that the sort of evidence that we want to present before this court? We took time, that is, the ICT team took time to study the logs that were presented. My ladies and my lords, I'm sure you have appropriate infrastructure to be able to make a determination on your own as to what these logs entail. From the analysis that were conducted, and this is again contained in the affidavit of Martin Nyaga, these forms, these logs, arose potentially or were picked potentially from the 2017 general elections. Martin Nyaga, in his affidavit, identifies 9 obvious inconsistencies. I want to allude to just 2 or 3 of them. That, and that is in paragraph 13 of the affidavit of Martin Nyaga. If you look at the manner in which those forms, those logs are structured, they serialized, in 2017, the IEBC serialized its logs using the names of the constituencies. In that particular log, you'll find a name Changamwe. This time round, they did not use the names of the constituencies. They used the serial numbers. So that is a first inconsistency. Looking at those logs again, you see the name of one Asenge running an IBC email account. Asenge was one of the returning officers of the IBC in Changamwe in 2017. One is then left to wonder, at what point do we get to even forging documents, forging logs, to be able to demonstrate our case? Perhaps I will get to that a little later.
So go to, not that one. Page, it doesn't have pages, but it's an extra R10. It was the foreigners' logs. Mine doesn't have pages.
I don't have it.
It just reads R10. Anyway.
Yes.
R10
Yes.
is titled Users Who Logged In Recently. Do you remember that? You projected it here.
We projected it, yes.
Yes. So Vito logged in on July 28th. That's my question. I want to see whether we're on the same wavelength as to the dates. Because you said they logged in during the tallying. Does someone have a copy of the report?
We can share a copy.
You can use this.
Yeah, please share a copy.
Take this.
This is
Share this.
R10. And to save on time, Mr. Ngarisha, you can be looking at R12 yourself.
yes. Thank you. Okay.
So, Mr. Murgor, you said in, if I,
That's all.
R10.
Why don't I have this? Okay. Yes.
Yes, so R10, please read for us the dates that these people logged in and the time.
the R10,
Yes.
I have the logs start from July 20th to July 28th.
Exactly.
Yes.
So did I hear you saying that they logged in during the tallying period?
That's what I had in my document that I filed.
We are looking at the registrar's report. So how different is your document from this one?
I will check because what we have has those logs.
Remember, we are working with the registrar's report, not any other document. That's why I was getting confused.
This is probably the reason why we filed our own document, because you have extracted, or the registrar has extracted this part, we have extracted the entire. So we could look at what we have.
Yes.
I'll speak to the IT people and clarify that.
But
because our logs start from July
But
to
for the registrar's
August.
report, it's July 20th to July 28th.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to clarify that. That was before the election, therefore.
That was before the election.
Thank you. That's all I wanted from you.
You had agents at the CTC, we have the original. You have agents at the NTC, we have original. We have what is transmitted in the portal, we have original. All of them tally, and you are saying your client's votes were deducted. How?
I wish to make a short submission regarding the evidence of John Githongo and the transcribed interview he had with this young person. It came out that somewhere, somehow, in the current suburb, there was a group of about 50 people who had access to the ICT systems of IBC, whereby they were intercepting results before they were uploaded on the public portal.
This staging, again, I've been intrigued. I've been reading. If I understood you correctly, and if I understand the affidavits correctly, we are having this Form 34A. The original, which is filled, leaves the polling station to go to the National Talent Center by road, let's say, for ease of understanding. Its image leaves to go to the same destination, but this time by air. Somewhere along the line, in mid-air, the image is captured. And then all sorts of things are done before it is re-uploaded, which means, therefore, if you go to that captured image, which has been re-uploaded, you will find different content from what it had at the polling station. So, to determine whether that has actually taken place, you would have to go now to the tallying center and locate that one that left by road and compare. Is it possible that that capturing in mid-air also somehow magically changes the content of the one that left by road? Okay, just because I just want to understand. Again, I've been intrigued. I've been reading. If I understood you correctly, and if I understand the affidavits correctly, we are having this Form 34A. The original, which is filled, leaves the polling station to go to the National Talent Center by road, let's say, for ease of understanding. Its image leaves to go to the same destination, but this time by air. Somewhere along the line, in mid-air, the image is captured. And then all sorts of things are done before it is re-uploaded, which means, therefore, if you go to that captured image, which has been re-uploaded, you will find different content from what it had at the polling station. So, to determine whether that has actually taken place, you would have to go now to the tallying center and locate that one that left by road and compare. Is it possible that that capturing in mid-air also somehow magically changes the content of the one that left by road. Okay, just because I just want to understand. Then let's get back to the 4 commissioners.
To Mr. Arua, and this could also go to the other council appearing for the commissioners, you've raised many issues, going way back before the election. The Venezuelans, mistreatment by the chairman, we're not allowed to do this and that. But we saw your clients in public reading out results. And that's what I'm calling my acquiescence question. They did all these things until the 11th hour. What evidence do we have that this is not an afterthought, that they're not doing this in good faith? What evidence do we have, apart from the question of the instructions to council, the meeting they called? Why do we have anything showing that for the last 3-4 months they documented these grievances and that there was therefore a storm brewing? My own sense of things is that when you come only at the point of final declaration, how then do we trust that in fact there were issues before? Tied to that, what role did violence play at Bomas? Because we have the evidence of the chairman that I couldn't do this because I was attacked, Gulier was attacked, we couldn't announce 27 polling station results, constituency results. What role did violence play at Bomas? I think you need to explain that as the commission, which is what you've said. For Firoz Noroji,